So for example, stuff like this, right? You can come here and you can try to be comfortable in positions that you would normally not really like. And then you try to stay there for a while. That's a bit of a challenge. So yeah, despite me saying, I would end it now, but in a way it's stupid because I still have battery. And if I leave before having recorded all the videos that I could in this place, I also feel like I don't deserve it. And maybe I don't really feel like going slacklining after all. Maybe I will just eat pancakes. Because maybe they will give me the energy I need to pull through with this kind of stuff. And also it gives me the feeling, I'm at least a bit stupid, right? I don't want to do everything right. I can complain about people that go running or do whatever, but sometimes I also enjoy, doing a bit of the opposite of what I'm saying, because it just shows, it's not so much about what I'm saying, but what I'm doing. And that's why no matter what I say in these videos, it's about what I do. So you see me recording videos. Okay, that's showing that I record videos, right? And if I say, I never want to drink coffee again, well, that only is true if I actually never drink coffee again. So, if I say I never want to drink coffee again, and then you see me drinking coffee in a cafe, then you can't nail me on that. And why is that? Because, you thought I was somebody else than you thought I was. Because I said all along, don't nail me on my words. Because in the end, the only truth you can found by the things that you see. And that's by believing what politicians say is completely stupid. Because when you would have looked at what they're actually doing, you would have realized that words are just full of shit. So me recording videos and liking it is probably the most truth you can get out of this. That what I like to do is record videos. And what I like to do is to talk. And that's the most, the highest truth you can get out of this. Everything else is just yourself. If I say something about coffee, and that resonates within you, then, something for you to figure out there. But, in the end, you have to figure out what to do and if you're okay with these decisions, right? So I can say now, oh, I never drink coffee again. But then I drink coffee. Well, what does that say then? That I was just talking. But there are some things which I will say, like, I never want to masturbate again, right? So now it's for me to pull through with it, because that's more important to me than not to drink coffee. Because in the end, coffee is just a drink. But for me, masturbation is something else. It's more selfish. Because I can use drinking coffee to write books. Because it brings me into a certain mindset. Whereas masturbation, in a way, it just gets rid of too much energy. And somehow it's like sinful. So I believe, rather have sex then. And connect with your wife in a very beautiful way than to masturbate. But that's of course what you have to decide. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm just saying it. But what am I really doing? You don't know that. You may meet me on the streets and I'm somebody completely different. But in a way that shouldn't matter, because maybe what I'm saying makes you feel a certain way. Then you meet me and you realize, holy shit, that guy is a complete fraud. Well, how does that make you feel? Well, that's just a lesson for you then. That you shouldn't believe everything people are saying or showing to you on the internet. No, you have to believe and trust yourself. How do I feel? How does what I see in this person make me feel? And that's also, of course, the other thing. Like sometimes you listen to people on YouTube. If you would have paid attention, you would have realized that they were full of shit. But you keep listening to them. And you don't realize that they're lying to you all the time. They're acting like they're completely happy, but they're actually not. And you can see it. You can see that they're unhappy. No, but you couldn't, because you weren't looking at it. Because you weren't looking at your own unhappiness. You wanted to be lied to, and you found somebody that did the job. And maybe I want to be honest to you, but who can say that to you? That's what your feeling has to tell you. And if you don't listen to your feeling, you will never know if I'm true or not. Because unless you experience the things that I'm talking about, you will never be able to experience what I experience. Like the way that I see the world right now. Is because I worked for it. And unless you put in the work, you will never ever experience what I'm experiencing. And what it means, to balance out your life, you will never know what that means unless you start experiencing it. And right, if you do that with slacklining or with something else, it's just your thing. It's just, for me, slacklining reminds me of the balance, right? It's an act of balance, life. So I've practiced and I've trained. And you see the way that I slackline, that's not a lie, that's quite true. But I cannot talk to you about running, because it's hard for me to film that. You just have to read the book then, Born to Run, and start questioning your beliefs on running and shoes. And, start experiencing being barefoot. And start to experience reconnecting with nature. And yeah, I'm sometimes not really reconnected with nature. When I think there's like a tick walking here, and then I get a bit agitated. But I'm working on that. I'm observing myself. And then I realize, what are you doing, man? Just relax. Because if you would be a bushman, or if you're a monkey, or an animal, or an insect, you're just a part of nature. Right now, I'm sometimes really afraid of all kinds of things, right? That's why I can't just lay naked on this grass. I put a blanket underneath. Because if I lay naked, everything starts to itch. And we think that's something bad. But maybe it's because, we're not used to it, and it's actually a form of healing. But we think it's terrible. So maybe if you would go through that for a while, in the end you would be okay with it. So yeah, don't take my word for it. Just make your own experiences. You can use my words to make experiences. But then be focused on yourself and your experiences, and don't just do things because you want to copy me. Don't just do things because you think I got it right. Because that doesn't mean anything to you. Just because I know what I'm talking about doesn't do anything for you. It just shows you have to be persistent, and you have to make experiences, and you have to be prepared to question yourself. To say, holy shit, I'm not as awesome as I thought I was, but I can be, right? And then that just means discovering your hidden potential and putting in hard work and effort to get there. But the thing is, I don't feel like I need to run every day to be as awesome as I would tell myself to be. Because maybe I say too often to myself that I'm a piece of shit. But still, I just don't want to run every day. I've tried it. Yeah, maybe you can say now, well, maybe you haven't tried hard enough. But I just know I don't want to, because it makes me dependent on running. And I don't want to do that, somehow. But that's another thing, you know, sometimes it's all or nothing, right? You can do so many things. You can do so many things. But sometimes it's better to drop some things, because you say, I actually don't like it as much. Like, I don't feel like I need to go running to be able to hike, for instance. I like walking much better, because it takes time, and I actually can think a lot. Running just, it's so rushed. It's such a quick experience. And that's like, you know, ignorant sex. And that's like masturbation. It's so quick. It's like, bleh! I rather want to stretch it out. Go for a nice walk. Or spend a whole day in the park or something. And now I seem to get like, here. Seems like a sunburn. So maybe I should get out of the sun.
The sun! The Son of God.